live. Welcome everyone for this evening edition of Trading Bitcoin, but I am not alone this time. Let's bring on a special guest for the day, Joe Saz. Joe, how you been, man? You're also in quarantine.
Yep, I'm in the cigar bunker, as it's been titled, and I actually appreciate that name. So yeah, things are going well for me, and life kind of hasn't changed much for a trader like myself. Maybe a little bit apprehensive at times, want to get out a bit more, but things are good.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to have you on because I wanted to have a chat about what's going on with the order book. I mean, that has become your specialty over the last year or so. You're building out a lot of indicators in that space. Hopefully, you'll have some of them ready for the financial summit, where I know you had an amazing time last year.
Yeah. I mean, even now, the amount of work we've been putting in, I can't wait to show you some of the things and to line up some of my trades and Sequential, and to show you a little bit how they're still working together. I really want to get Sequential on this thing, and I'm excited right now. I can't wait. We're in such a pivotal moment in Bitcoin right now, so this is palpable. I'm excited.
Yeah, speaking of Sequential, I'm testing out the latest code that my developer just gave me. We found a way to still make it work fast and add multi-time frame. So you can now add up to 4 additional time frames, but they have to be higher than your current time frame. So if you're looking at, say, a 5-minute chart, you can see if there are 9s on the 30-minute chart, the 1-hour chart, the 4-hour chart. You can see them right there in the same chart.
Nice. That's excellent.
So, and I know you're a short-term trader. You're looking at what,
Yeah.
10, 15-minute candles?
I finally embraced the scalper that I am, and you can, of course, all my trades are public on my token bot trading Telegram group. You can see everything there, success and failure. But I could show you exactly the signals. We've refined them. Me and David have refined these signals to be very clear, and it's been excellent for at least a scalper's paradise, and even some long-term moves. So yeah, it's just been great either way.
All right, very cool. How you been doing in poker, man? I missed the last few poker nights.
Well, I got completely annihilated last weekend, but then I completely annihilated everyone else 2 weekends prior, like 2 weeks in a row or something. I got everyone's money, and then I lost badly last weekend. So I'm coming back with a fresh head and some vengeance tomorrow. So.
It sounds good. I may or may not join. I got a long day tomorrow. I'm doing options course again because we entered a bunch of trades on Monday. We're exiting a bunch of them tomorrow, so I'm going to do that. I got my show in the morning. I'm going to be on Adam Meister's show tomorrow, guys. So I think it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time. It's on the West Coast. That's where he is. And yeah, so I'm going to be on that show at about 1 p.m. and we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Why is my camera going out of focus again? I got to redo this whole camera and mic operation. Something's not working. All right, let's get into the charts. We're going to talk about short-term mostly. I'm going to let Joe share his charts as well. I'm going to very quickly just go through. I haven't looked at the charts in the last couple of hours, so I'm just going to walk through my charts, and then we're going to talk to Joe about what he's got. We're up to 325 live viewers. Come on, guys, show me some love. Hit that like button and the subscribe button. I have your live chat up. Hopefully, people will shoot over questions. My gracious volunteers, thank you so much. Bitcoin Bernoulli, you've been incredibly helpful with that front. All right. Let's go to the charts. Joe, feel free to interrupt me at any time. It's something I always do to everyone else, so don't feel shy about doing it to me. Here we are. The BLX index has updated, and like I've been saying for quite a while now, that I expect us to stay in this triangle. I fully anticipated the rejection at the but this is basically Tyler Jenks's phase 7. I fully anticipated that rejection, and from here we may or may not go to the support line, but I am expecting us to consolidate for the rest of the year. Joe, you and I have a bet. Actually, yeah. You, myself, and Socrates have a bet. You think that Bitcoin will go below what? Make a new low or go below
3,800.
4,000?
Below
What was it?
3,800 by July 1st.
Below 30 by July 1st. Oh wow. Okay. So you and on the close or just a touch?
Uh, I think if we head that direction, I don't think there's going to be much to stop it from going lower, anyways. So I'm going to say if we clear it by a wick, it counts. But I have a
Okay.
feeling it's going to be pretty
So
detrimental.
okay, so we'll use, we'll use common sense. Like it has to be,
Yeah.
it can be a wick, but it can't be debatable.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think any of us are looking for an easy way out. But
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
love.
It's a we'll use common sense, right? Like for example, like this wick right here was a legitimate wick, and this wick went down to what's the low on this candle? The low on this candle is 44.60. So if our bet was for 4,500, that would probably be debatable. But if our bet was for 47.50, it would not be debatable. You would win.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we'll just use common sense on that one. All right. I don't think we're going to go that low. You think we will? We will find out. All right. And you have your wick has to go below this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty damn confident in this bet. Okay. Meanwhile, I have a bet with our mutual friend, Nelly, where I don't think we're going to close above 10,000. So I literally have bets on both sides, anticipating us to fully stay in this triangle for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's really starting to seem like Bitcoin has its tendency to move fast. But I mean, I think we might be breaking this long descending channel, and I actually don't have it as a phase 7 line. I'm just connecting the top of the wick on the far left from the 28K high through these wicks and then to the current resistance. It's almost a mirror image. But man, this run has been very crazy. I think FOMO just started, and that's what's starting to scare me, is that we still have 2 weeks till the halving, and if FOMO just began, I don't know what kind of wrench that's going to throw in the overall technical picture.
I think we only have about 10 days. Bitcoin halving. I said 3 weeks the other day, and people are like, Tone, you're living in the past. Because I've been saying 3 weeks for like a month, so I still think it's 3 weeks.
Might be 11 days.
What do we got here? 10 days.
10 days.
10
okay.
days, 22
Oh,
hours.
man. That's a debatable win. That's a debatable win right there.
Hey, by the way, guys, this is a once in a 4-year event. I am already preparing for another epic 8-hour marathon. It will begin a few hours before the halving, and it will last 5 to 6 hours after the halving. We will do an 8-hour marathon on this channel. I really hope it doesn't happen in the middle of my night. I hope it happens during the day. But whatever it is, we will do it. I will try to get, I mean, look, the pool of people I can bring on my channel is kind of small. Like you're not going to see a Charlie Lee. You're not going to see, you're not going to see any shitcoiners. And the pool of non-shitcoiners is becoming very, very thin. We ended up losing another one in Trace Mayer after the unconfiscatable incident. So we are losing people, but hopefully it'll be a fun stream. I'm sure Joe will join us and many others. It'll be about trading. It'll be about everything. We'll recap the last 4 years of Bitcoin. So the halving is coming. So that's great. Can't wait for this day. It's going to be, okay. So we don't have a time ETA. Yeah, in about a week, we'll have a better estimate on time. All right, let's go to the lower level time frame. And actually, this is the same time frame, but now we have sequential. And according to sequential, we're on a 4 of 9. So we are still bullish, but we have gone up so much that Bitcoin can actually correct like quite a bit. We can go down to 7,200 and still maintain the bullish sequential count. This was a pretty big pullback. It's not as bad as it was earlier today, as you will see by the daily charts. We printed the 9.
Yeah, we got a clean 9.
Yeah,
off a reversal 8. That's the most important thing to me.
Yeah, and you can also see like recent history. And in recent history, the prior 2 9s did give you the swing high on the 8 candle, which turned out to be a red candle. So it's like history is perfectly repeating itself once again for the 3rd upswing in a row. And we can see how the prior 2 upswings ended. This one ended with a somewhat fast and big, well, we're gonna go high to low, right? This took approximately 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and then we made a low very early in the 5th candle. So I would say this was, we can say a 5 candle pullback because this happened here. This was a 5 candle pullback in total, and we went down 10%. This was perfectly within the 1 to 4 candle correction range since the 9. The following 9, once again, the top took place on the 8th. This time we went a little further. We went 13% down, and it took longer. It took definitely longer than 4 candles to get there. And here we are again. This one is probably going to be a lot more severe to the downside because we went significantly higher. We've already gone 12% down, and I think we are going to go down more. My most optimistic area of the pullback is 16% down into the triple support cluster. But, and here's a big one, if we get here somewhere around 5 days from now, I will accept it as sufficient support. But if we get here to this area within the next 3 days, I will expect this area to break with 80% confidence, and for us to actually go down to 7,200, and then we will reevaluate. That is my current view. I am bearish on Bitcoin short term, bullish intermediate term, and bullish long term. I can't see myself changing my long-term view for probably 3 to 4 years. It's possible that if we go to 100,
Is it possible that we lost tone? It might be possible that we lost tone for a second here. I'm watching the video on a delay. Pretty big delay. So let's see if my voice is coming up. Okay, well, it looks like I'm here. Shit. We might need to do a different one. I don't know if he's gonna be able to get back in or not, but I'm just gonna steal the show while he's gone. Point out some of the triggers for some of these signals. This is the order book. To anyone unfamiliar, Tone has a link, and I'm sure he can provide it under his video. Oh, Tone, you're back.
I'm back, but since you took over screen share, stay with it. I'll show the affiliate page after. Well, we're
Okay.
at 700 live viewers, guys. Please hit that like button. It really does help move this video along.
Yeah, so Tone, I'm happy to report that we have a few improvements here. First off, you can see these horizontal lines. Those are the static orders in the book, and you can see when they were added in time, how much has been added to them. So they start as thin lines and they grow in thickness to see how support has grown in time. We fine-tuned these signals. So let's get rid of just that. On Binance, for every exchange, we have a specific set of inputs that we make tailored to each exchange to really give you some great scalp signals. Yellow is kind of that severe buy. So you can see that these yellows have been giving us excellent bottoms, great scalp exits every single time. So this is why I've been scalping. I mean, look at this scalp at the top, Tone. This thing, if you look at my some of my token bot trades here, I think one of them I took at
yeah, I am keeping an eye on it. It's usually like you replying saying took profit on this one, took profit on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been trading these signals and it's been, pretty great. So now that we have the static orders in the book, we can see exactly why these bars or these bands are yellow. We can see that as we get closer to certain ranges, how much of those buyers are spoofers, how many of them are serious. You can see how this band went from very thick to 1 degree lower before getting broken to the downside in a support range, which got very supportive. And then we've even gone as far as including an aggregated order book. So you can choose exactly what exchange's order book you're viewing. So since I'm looking at a spot exchange like Binance, I'm including Binance, Bitstamp, and Coinbase Pro. I fine-tuned the ratio cap in a couple of these inputs, and then just gone ahead and
so you can look at the price on one exchange, but pull in the order book from multiple exchanges to support that price.
100%. And
That's a
also
great feature.
look at this over here, Tone. In the top right of the corner, you can just see it 0 to 1% on Binance. This is Bitstamp, Coinbase Pro. So here's your spot markets, perpetuals, your futures, Deribit, BitMEX, Bybit, and Binance futures. So you can just get a quick snapshot here of what the 0 to 1% band looks like, the 1 to 2.5% band looks like, the 2.5 to 5, and so on. You can just get a snapshot of the market order book right here. So we have this little quick thing. We have our signals, and these signals have been playing out great. And this is what's getting me really interested, right? So we drove this run up with some clear 5 to 10% band support. We're working into our 9 sell. And this is what has me really interested, is that we pulled back after a dry run to the top. And I know in previous videos, you and I have seen these where we get these little bounces that are just completely unsubstantiated and sellers take over. And then we get a serious
that's crazy how we're bouncing all the way to 96 and there's absolutely no support. So this is a short covering.
Yeah, we could even, if we wanted to, we can break this down by volume and see exactly each trade. Let me just go to trades of any size.
Yeah, wow, that final run up was completely unsupported by any buying. It's basically literally guys that are being short, being blown out. And once that was over, that's it. I had nowhere else to go but down.
Yeah, let's see here. Let's do delta, and let's leave this at column. So
very interesting, man. I've always been fascinated by this data. Like I've never cared about the order book, but man, this is really, really cool.
Yeah, look, you can see how small the difference was between a lot of these candles, especially these high volume candles. Some of them are obviously big and the delta is huge. You can clearly see that there was a massive majority of buyers in this candle. But then we move into some of this space where it just gets very uncertain. So you can get a lot of the market sentiment there. This is our general top indicator. It's kind of like an RSI. It doesn't necessarily mean top. And I usually give it at least $1,000 for the first call at the very least. And this can stay overbought for a long time. But you know, it's been nice to watch to trade. Now that we've broken out, you can see that the order book depth non-cumulative 10 to 25% starting to flip even negative for a period of time here. So you know, it's just a good time to watch. And that sequential 9 on the daily after that inverted 8, this is really driving me crazy. And this is basically the same chart you were showing, and I just have mine drawn a little differently. So just connecting a couple different wicks and you know, I guess a similar concept, but still rejection at the same point. You know, a convergence here, which was really strange to me, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this bullish crossover, the short and the long and intermediate term moving averages, right in the middle of all this. Did that shake you up at all, or did that not matter to you at all?
You know, that the moving average crossover there doesn't matter to me because they've been trading in parallel for like months. So that crossover doesn't really mean anything. The fact that we broke out above both of them, and there was a Fibonacci line right there as well. So that was actually a triple resistance level. And the way we just broke through it is basically very, very powerful. But what you actually have there is, remember, there are some forces. First of all, we were recovering from that overshoot to the bottom. So an overshoot to the top was clearly possible. Also, the halving coming up in 10 days is, you know, making people more FOMO-ish than they otherwise would. In addition, we're in a very weird environment right now with the shutdown and the COVID. So like of all the time in a 4-year period were to expect something unexpected, this is it. Same thing with the big crash. I mean, that was certainly facilitated by the big crash in the stock markets and oil going to negative. So we're just in a very weird time. This is why I wish Tyler was with us, because I bet you there has been at least 5 things in the world of economics, trading, and finance that even Tyler, with 40 years of trading experience, not only has never seen before in his life, never thought this would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're 100% correct there. Unprecedented. And
Right.
I just wanted to answer a question here. Everyone was asking what this chart was on. This one's on Binance. I have custom settings for each individual exchange. Binance
No, I think they're asking you about, okay, Joe. So I have a lot of new
Oh,
viewers. I think if anything, they're asking you about the platform, and the link to this platform is on my affiliate page. Which, Joe, since you're doing the screen share, just shoot over to tonebase.com and then click on affiliates.
So you just head on over to tonevays.com. I believe affiliates are over
Yep,
here.
and then just click
Top
on
right
affiliates,
corner.
and it's in the upper right-hand corner next to the Embly card. And Joe, you got your Embly card too.
Oh yeah, I have my beautiful Embly card. I got an
You
amazing
got the
gift
gold
from
one, right?
Alexander. Yeah, I'm very loud. This was such an amazing gift from him, and here's my Embly card. This thing is nice and shiny.
You got the gold one, man. I got the black. I got one of these. Oh, and some of mine
Oh,
were
that's
shipped
nice.
to you actually.
Yeah. They're sitting right here actually. I could prove their existence before I hold them hostage any longer. But yeah, here's the link on tonebays.com. I'm a huge fan of Embly too. Been speaking with Alex a lot. He's been joining the poker games every Friday, and they're working on innovations in their space too. So it's great to be able to have that. But yeah, this is where you can get Trader. Currently, it's free. It releases May 8th. There will be an early bird special, but for now it's in beta phase. As you can see here next to our image, it's been in beta for some time, and we're migrating. You'll get 2 weeks free no matter when you sign up. And there is an early bird special, so I do recommend taking advantage of that and joining the Telegram community to learn these signals. And I can even send these over to Tone, all the customization.
Hey Joe, I got a question from the live chat from PD. Maybe he can specify a little more. He says, I'm looking at the order book indicators on Trader. So he's on the platform that you're using, and he says the run up to 9,500 on his view was supported by the order book.
Yeah,
But
so I have one aggregation that only pays attention to signals, and I have one set of bands that only pays attention to signals. So let me give you an example here. We had some great signals down here at the bottom. Let's just get here. One of these is really only meant to filter out all the noise. And unfortunately, this is taking a second to load, but I'm pretty sure once we get, you look at this bottom here, Tone. This thing, let me get rid of the top
when
level.
is that? I need a timeline here. So
This
this
is
is
April
you're
21st.
looking at a 5-minute chart.
Yeah, I mean it's to me it's order book data. So the time frame doesn't matter. We could probably move this to like a 15. But yeah, we're looking at
but I needed it for
April 20th.
for a day reference.
Yeah, April 20th, and we had that same exact support again April 21st at a price of 68.03 approximately, low 6800s, double bottom support. So this particular indicator is just filtering out the noise, and you can see that gave you a long signal, and that long signal got you out at the top of this because this didn't light up until the top of the candle. So this was a great trade too. We're working on getting a better timestamp, and unfortunately, the only thing I can do is drop it to a smaller time frame, which will just make this more inconvenient. But yeah, I mean, you can take my word for it now that this yellow doesn't show up unless it's time to flip positions. So there's your long, carry it on out to a short. You add a little scalp here. You kind of pick your time frames, and you can use again the order book depth aggregated bands to make your trend bias decision. So if you enter along, you can say, well, we have support in the XYZ bands or all the above, and this run was clearly supported, and 5% seems to be our trend bias. So when the buyers are in control of the 5%, 5 to 10% range, it seems to get really bullish, and that's the band that we want to keep. And you can see we held it throughout this entire run, continued through a descending triangle, got a short signal at the top here as vaguely in yellow, played that. Here we had a gold mine, rushed up again. This 5 to 10% band was just really showing the trend bias. very clearly. And then you can see where we peaked out a couple times and even marked the top with this yellow band up here as well. And now we've had 2
Oh yeah,
points of
I'm
support.
sorry, Joe. We do have some clarity on that gap right there on the 30th where there's no support. So the person was actually looking at Bitmax, and on Bitmax it was there, but these are spot markets, which are a lot more important. And clearly there was no buying support of the spot market, and the Bitmax futures can only, be irrational for so long. The spot markets are still king.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. And that's why I've made my aggregation specific to only spot markets that I can trust. I mean, Binance
Right.
is largest in volume. Bitstamp, you trust it. Coinbase Pro, we know it's legit. They're law abiding. Maybe I can mess with Kraken a little bit, but I
Yeah,
don't like them too
you
much.
can definitely add Gemini.
Yeah, so even adding them, to be honest,
There's
it
no
won't change
volume there. It's
much.
not going to add much.
Yeah, it doesn't change much. But taking a look at that same exact pocket on BitMEX, with those, oh, it actually did change a little bit. We'll come back. But looking at the same thing on BitMEX, yeah, we've had tons of support in the same. Oh wait, well here is the hollowed out region. So let me get rid of the. Yeah, we have the aggregated overlay. Yeah, so BitMEX was clearly showing buyers.
All right, but
Um,
BitMax is a casino. Like
yeah,
BitMax,
yeah.
people are wrong. That's why all the time, like this is why people complain about BitMax, that they're somehow scamming you. Meanwhile, the herd on BitMax is always wrong. This is why we use the BitMax, funding rate to go against the herd.
Yeah. Agree with you there, and yeah, I've been look at the signatures here on the spot markets. This is Coinbase Pro. These are the 73, 65, 55 inputs for the order book depth overlay. You got to sell at the top, and you've got buys at the bottom. I mean, this order book data is just really hitting it out of the park. And with the order book top levels, again, as seen here on Binance, you're really able to get a good clue of how strong or likely a support area is likely to be, especially if you see buyers adding. And like in this case, you see that this band started off very thin at around 1640 today, Eastern Standard, or I guess UTC. And then it grew again in magnitude here a bit later. And then it grew again. So this 8,500 area is becoming a very dominant space for the bulls, which is making me a little nervous about this 9. I actually scalped one of these longs earlier, and I'm scared to do that because I know we have this looming 9 above our heads. So, the order book signals are saying we have support. And part of me wants to say this 9 looks like it might be a dud, but, it's going to come down to the market sellers to determine that outcome, to bust through all this very overwhelming support. I mean, 328 Bitcoin at 8,500. Probably around the same here at 8,400, and you can see the $50 aggregations are also stacked in between. So it's going to be a tough fight to get us to make our way back down. And all these buyers look pretty serious to me right now. This is definitely a FOMO chapter of this market run.
Hey, Joe, so we have our usual question. This is the question we get approximately every 15 minutes, every time you are on my show talking about the order book. And I will read the question and you will laugh. Do you think we can figure out support and resistance from order book with trader TRDR, even with the manipulation from whales?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the answer is certainly.
This is okay. Let me answer real quick. This is why this is invented, because no matter how big of a whale you are, if you're going to move the market, it's going to show up in the order book.
Yeah. It's pretty much as simple as that. I mean, if you start to see this support start to wane and turn into a thin line again, then you know that this was a grip of spoofers trying to pump the market, and that support's gone, and you can't really rely on that support anymore. So yeah, you can see when buyers or sellers are pulling their orders at what exact second, and we've made trader visible down to the 5-second and 1-second chart. So I mean, you could watch this thing unfold, and it's just amazing to see the order book play out accurately. It's great. So yeah, you can catch spoofers in the act. And for the record, I noticed far less spoofing on Binance than I have on any other exchange.
Yeah, no, thanks again for this. We're almost at 1,000 viewers. It's been it's been great. This quarantine is definitely bringing back viewers. Also, the bull market. Also,
Yeah.
I think people are starting to understand that Tone is now a bull. going forward, so more people are willing to watch. So right now, your chart here is definitely displaying bullish signs. Are you currently in any trades, long-term, short-term,
Nope.
scalps?
I'm just only in observation mode right now. I need to get. I want to wake up and see what this 9 has done. The daily 9.
Oh, was the last trade? Did you take that trade off the yellow right there around noon?
I took one of these ones. It was either this one or this one, but one of these ones I took
But
and I
not the
just
ones,
scalped.
not the ones on the right. That was too
Nope.
close to the 9.
Yeah, we're getting too close, and I've heard you say it before, and I didn't need to hear you say it. Don't mess with those damn 9s. I'm not gonna play around long when a 9 cell is showing up on the screen. After a reversal hammer like this 8, it was just if this was a 15-minute chart, I would have been short immediately. I would have been getting short in this candle, preparing for this 9.
Right, but did you take the short at the top of the 8 because your order book data was clearly flashing to short that?
Let's see what my last short was. Sell 8885. 8885 was my last short. So I must have taken
Was that
something.
on the front end or on the back end of 9400?
Let's see. It was date April 29th, 2020, 8:54 p.m.
Feels like on the front end.
April
It might have
29th.
been
Yeah,
off the
so it was
7
somewhere
candle.
in this candle. It was
Yeah,
somewhere.
it would have been
I was
off the
short.
yeah, it was on the front end. So you
Eight-
didn't short off the 8 candle, you shorted off the top of the 7 candle when I
Yeah.
got out of GBTC approximately the same price.
Yeah, so pretty much it was around that top. Let's just take one quick look at it. 8885 is where so it might have been this one over
Yeah,
here.
it was that one.
Yeah,
It
it was probably this one. Yep,
Yeah.
this is my signal, and then I got out at 87.44. So I was in and out, and I made over $100 in profit per Bitcoin. Limit orders both ends of the spectrum, and then I made that note, got out in profit in full.
You didn't take that yellow short trade right at the top?
Let's see what time is 2 a.m. 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah.
for you. That sucks.
Yeah, I know, but I did catch some of this stuff. It's
So
still been.
in hindsight, like I can't see you not taking that trade according to the way.
Oh, I can't. I would look at this. We have such a static wall right here at 9,500, and look at this. How beautiful this wall
I would
is.
take this trade short. I barely know the system.
I mean,
like I'm just good at reading like charts and new indicators instantly, and I'm like, holy shit, that's like based on the way you trade, that's like flashing short this thing.
This was a clear and obvious sell, a resistance wall. You can, and if you want to play it safe, you just put your stop loss at 80, 85, 35 plus, and then you would just enter short here, and you could write it down to the signal to the next you choose. I'm working on the discretion of when to exit a trade because it's a little tough going signal to signal right now. So that's why I feel like I haven't been on your show for a while, but here I am with some exact signals to say these are working on scalps. Now I want to get them working much better on longer time frames, and I think it's that aggregated book that's going to keep you in your trades for longer. So this is your scalp.
So we are Monday morning quarterbacking here a little bit. I don't know if Joe is a football fan or not. Can you just zoom in right where you are? No, right where you were.
Right on the top.
Yep. No. On the yellow to the right of that.
Okay.
So we're gonna show a trade that probably would have failed. Yep, right there, and just zoom in.
There's a couple.
Yeah.
There's one right
zoom in
here.
a little more. So okay, so that looks like a buying opportunity. No, put that back. Put the yep. So that looks like a decent buying opportunity right there at 5 a.m. Obviously, you are still sleeping, but if you were awake, and it looks like you have a high probability of taking that long trade, but it goes lower. Do you take the stop loss on that trade, or is it still within your risk parameters, going from 89-ish to 86?
So I would have been, say I longed here and I got in on this candle somewhere.
Well,
in this
let's play legitimate Monday morning quarterback. If this wasn't 5 a.m., if this was 11 a.m. for you, would you have gone long? Now, I know there is a 9 right there coming. So the 9 on sequential probably kept you out of that trade. But let's assume there's no 9. Let's assume sequential is not involved here.
Order book only. So order book only. This is something that I've actually been live when something like this happened.
Joe.
Yeah. So order book only, no other factors, and I'm long here, and I've been live when this has happened, and I've been in a trade live when this has happened. The second I got the signal, I stayed in.
Let's talk about the 5 a.m. one, right?
Mhm.
Not if you're long there. Would you go long there?
Mm-hmm. I long every signal, but if I was using a bit of discretion, maybe I would say this is a pretty big red candle and we still have a lot of resistance. But let's just assume that I'm trading every single signal. What would have been my way of saving this trade? Either a stop loss in that 2.5 to 1% range, and that just depends on your pain tolerance, which depends on your leverage. So if you're in at 10x, you don't want to have too high of a pain tolerance. Losing, going down 2% means you're losing 2% of your total equity. So if you're going in 10x hard, then you're probably going to want more of a 1% stop loss. But I would usually go in with something closer to 1 to 3x and then watch this signal pop in. Then I would know I was safe, or double down here, which I do. And then I would lower my average entry to about here, and I would have had plenty of time to exit with discretion.
So one more question for you then. Let's remove sequential, because I know you pay attention to sequential. You've been to my workshop.
Mm-hmm.
And you know sequential well. Ignoring sequential, do you use other factors like a reversal candlestick?
Yes. I mean, on the daily, it matters to me hugely. On something like this, the thing that would matter is if there is a reversal candle. Like this is kind of a reversal candle, and you can see that in this green candle, in this tiny little doji inverted hammer type candle, we still have an overwhelming sell volume. So this means that even within this green candle, there were more sellers than buyers. So it's things like this that you really want to pay attention to with the volume by side indicator to see,
You know what?
even if it.
I really like that, because I've always been complaining about the volume. Like that's clearly a green candle,
Uh-huh.
and your volume is red, which is exactly
Yeah.
what I wanted to build for a volume indicator.
Yeah, this is showing that we had 27 more Bitcoin sold than bought at this point in time.
Yeah, that's the right way to do it. I
Yeah.
hated that they simply color the volume bars based on the body of the candle. That's ridiculous. What
Yeah.
happens inside the candle matters way more than how the candle closed.
I couldn't agree with you. We've dissected candles to the 1 second and 5 second chart just to see what the volume looked like in that spike in XRP, even on BitMEX, to see just how the liquidity gaps were. But yeah, this is a great way to measure if a reversal hammer is going to be a failed reversal hammer, how significant it is. Could this have been a hanging man after, a little bit of a downtrend? I would have said no. Clearly, the volume was pointing down, and we continued downward into some beautiful buy signals. At any point in these buy signals, you'd be in the money. And now I don't believe, yeah, we're sitting on no signals, and I've been trading Binance only, but we're sitting on no signals right now. The aggregated order book is still bullish. The lines, the top levels in the order book are just so strong right now, which leads me to think that this is that FOMO run, just the beginning of it. Because look, we broke through 7K, 8K. We spent time in 7K, but we got to 8K, we got to 9K pretty quick. And now we have walls at 83, 83.50, 84 hard, 84.50, 85 hard. And then we have a little bit of space, a little bit of a liquidity gap here in terms of top levels, but still support nonetheless. So that's what really gets me going about this 9 sell. If there was to be a 9 sell that's going to be ignored, there's a part of me that thinks this might be the one.
Yeah, so I actually got you on at like the worst time, because right now you're not in any trades. The 9's in the way. We're consolidating. I got to try to get you on when we're pumping or when we're dumping to actually look at this stuff live.
Yeah.
So I'll try to be more conscious of that. I'll try to hit you up next time I go live and the market is swinging in one direction or another. So it's hard to talk about what so since you're not looking at anything, so we can talk a little bit more hypothetically. But I'm going to take screen share back over. And once again, those of you that are interested in that kind of volume analysis, what you guys need to do is go ahead and sign up for Trader TRDR. It's still free. the subscriptions are going to start probably sometime this month. And even after the subscriptions begin, you will have a few weeks free trial, and check that out. If it's for you, keep it. If it's not for you, then don't keep it. And
May 8th. May 8th is the big day.
Mother's Day?
I guess. Is darn. This is what it's like when you don't have a family. You forget holidays.
But yeah, I think that's Mother's Day. I gotta double check myself. But yeah, so May 8th subscriptions begin. Right now it's in beta. It's free. Go ahead and click on this link and sign up for it. It's free, can't hurt you. Give it a shot. It is in order to get that volume. Now, Joe's gonna have to probably do some educational videos on how he trades it and how to read the chart and how to set up the chart.
There's constant educational videos on my YouTube channel every day, every other day during the Bitcoin Lounge. Ask me anything. And on top of that, we have a Trader Telegram community. And I am creating the tutorial videos, which should be aired somewhere around next week to the Trader website and my personal website. And we'll also have screenshots for anyone that isn't interested in the video versions. We'll have documents that show on each page which indicator to use, which inputs to select or to customize, which checkboxes to check and uncheck, to give you the exact how is Joe Saz using Trader to make his trades. I'm going to give you everything, and that should be done here in less than a week.
Oh, I've been corrected. Mother's Day is on the 10th. You guys are off by 2 days, which is good. Yes. Nice. All right. So also, of course, oh man, I always pimp out the Embly cards. They're right there.
I love it too, Cone. Just so you know, I'm a huge fan of Embly.
Oh, I'm holding it upside down. There you go. Boom. Tone Vays Embly card. All right. Let's get into the charts. I was talking about the daily. Now the daily is on a 9, but now that Joe's here with his order book, I'm starting to, be a little bit more bullish right now, short term, than bearish. I am still going to trust the 9. I still think that we're going, but we don't have to pull back. The order book can move the price up to 9,100, and then the order book can flip to be very, very bearish, because what the stock market does tomorrow is going to be interesting. Keep in mind, Amazon reported earnings, and Amazon was going nuts.
Yeah, this is all earnings season.
We are talking about one of the 5 biggest stocks in the world, and here's Amazon. I mean, it's down $120 after market tonight, after reporting earnings. So that's pretty bad. I think Google reported as well. I'm not sure. Did Google report? Maybe. I think they reported as well. They're down 17%. The market may not be doing too good tomorrow, and that can certainly pull Bitcoin back. Now, here is the market. We went down late after hours with the reports of these companies. I, of course, stopped shorting the market last week because I just couldn't deal with it anymore, of it not pulling back. So what happens the moment I stop shorting the market? Of course, it goes down. That's kind of like the life of a trader, right? I tried shorting the market here, and I stayed with my short, and then I had to dump my short there, and I did not take on the short here. I thought about taking the short on the market at the end of day, but it being a 4 candle on sequential, breaking a Fibonacci, like my TA just didn't line up. And I'm not going to trade based on my gut feeling. So if the stock market goes down from here, then it goes down from here. I'm just not going to profit from the drop. But another person asked, hey, Tone, how come this futures SPX 500 USD shows you real live data of the futures market, but ES1, which is the actual tradable future, doesn't? And that's because TradingView has to sign contracts, and basically legally, TradingView can't give you live feed of the ES tradable contract, but whoever is providing the sticker is able to just do it. So it's all about, licensing and the ability to display data, but the data should be identical between this and this might be the S&P few, the S. No, it's usually the ES. There is the SP future. There is the SP future and the ES future on the S&P 500. This might be the SP future and not the ES. The only difference between the two is one trade in penny increments and the other one trades in 25-cent increments. But there's really no difference on a $3,000 asset, whether it trades by the penny or by 25 cents. But that's basically the rundown, because I saw that question in the chat. I don't know if you care about the general stock market, Joe, but hey, you're a technical analyst. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been watching it closely. I think that everything that's happening is completely irrational. And there's that saying that keeps running through my head is the market can remain irrational longer than a stubborn trader has money. And all this upside stuff that's been happening, and we've made this distinction that the economy and the stock market are two separate entities, but I still think that they kind of run hand in hand. They should be correlated, and this is clearly not correlated. How can so many companies be reporting positively around earnings season? So I'm very curious. I don't think the actual damage of the stock market has been reflected by the damage of the microeconomy. So I'm just excited. I'm in student mode watching this. I do believe that we are going to, the same way that I believe we'll find a lower low on Bitcoin, I do believe we'll at least test a lower low here in the stock market.
Okay, I got another question for you, Joe. Joe, how this bands become yellow? It's like more activity in the order book. Like, do you want to? Are you willing to share the secret sauce of what makes it yellow, Joe?
You want me to just take screen share real quick and I'll show it?
Yeah, take over screen share.
I think I might need you to drop it since you're the host.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't just steal it from you. But yeah, this is very simple, and this is something I go through and we'll go through every day. It's as simple as this. When you're in your order book, and let's say you were say you have Bitcoin Tether on Binance pulled up right now, you could simply go to the order book depth overlay and click on the gear right next to it. So the inputs I have are 70 for the ratio cap, 50 for the ratio minimum bids, and 64 for the ratio minimum asks. And then what I've done is I've unselected a bunch of stuff here, but including even the 1% aggregation, which I've been paying more attention to in this bar than I have been on the screen. I don't think it's too significant. But you just color these last two bands, and these are when the ratio is at its extreme. When the ratio is at its extreme, I want to know loudly and proudly that the ratio has either gone into full seller's territory or to full buyer's territory. So all I've done is in the styles, I've just gone down to the last one or two inputs, and I've changed them to the bright, clear yellow that you have here in the defaults. And I've just run down and done that through everything in the style column here. So that's how you get yellow, and that's no special sauce. That's just getting the signals to be loud, very loud, when the order book ratio is in extreme conditions.
All right, very cool.
Yeah, and that'll all be, again, on tutorial videos that'll be on the Trader website, and it'll be in paper. So you will have documents that you can download with screenshots of absolutely everything that I have copy pasted.
All right,
so you got a nice tip here.
Oh yeah, I see that. Thank you, Mark. Let's see what you got. Tone, can you take a look on BNO, please, and your thoughts on it? Sure, we'll take a look at BNO in a second. Let me just take a quick peek at oil. Oil is still rising a little bit. I guess the economy is stabilizing a little bit. That's interesting. I wish I could have entered my oil trade. I tried, but unfortunately, my retirement account wasn't allowed to hold that position. This is silver. I don't really care about shitcoins, so silver is done. Gold. So gold is still pulling back. I am currently not in gold. I'm not currently interested in gold. I was interested in buying gold right here, but that time has passed. I never got into that trade. I am now holding back. At this point, I would rather wait for a 9. I would rather wait for a 9 buying opportunity. The last one was absolutely beautiful, and we may get another one right here at the moving average, which would be absolutely sweet. Okay, that pretty much covers the markets here, other than Bitcoin. Yeah, see your order book, Joe. Like you've been bullish all evening, and we are holding up, and that's fine. We have plenty of room to go without endangering the swing high. and it's very possible we could still have another green one, and then we can dip a little bit. I'm still looking for my pullback, but considering we already fell quite a bit, that's fine. Let me just look at the lower level time frames real quick. Yeah, the 4 hour is really, really orderly. There was a 9 on the 4 hour as well. The top came the candle after, and this is clearly has gone past a 1 to 4 candle pullback. This candle is clearly a reversal candle with this candle going above it, but it was not able to sustain it. Clearly, for me, this has gone beyond 1 to 4 candle correction on a 4 hour, and I am now fully looking for this to complete its 9. And if the count breaks, I will be looking for it to complete a 9 still. So the 4 hour chart to me remains bearish looking. The daily chart to me remains at the top because the 9 is just got here about 3 hours ago. And if I lower the time frame to 1 hour, we are consolidating in a weird-ish flag pennant, which is also, of course, bearish. And if we really zoom into the 10-minute chart, it's not really telling us anything nor anything interesting. So I'm gonna
let me add one thing there real quick, Tone, because you know how I spent so much time using 9s on the 15-minute, and I had rules.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my rules was that if you got a pump on a 6, then it's going to guarantee a 9, a 6 or above. It almost guarantees a 9 because you're gonna
probably 9 on a 15-minute, man.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I mean, the 15-minute is still fantastic for 9s, and this is why I want the sequential integrated so badly into Trader, because I think that combo is just, and the 5-minute too has been great. So the thing is, when you get a big pump on a 6 candle, and clearly the market's consolidating or even still has some FOMO left, it's going to print the 9. So that 9 to me is one, let's say, 1 out of 10 less powerful than a 9 that got there organically, on a grind. So we had a pump on a 7. We had a nice spike on the 8 that turned inverted hammer. Still, if this was a 15-minute candle, considering we're so close to overhead resistance, I would be willing to take a low risk short. But since the book is saying, we found support, Sequential, which I do firmly rely on as well, is saying that we're due for a pullback. I'm just gonna wait. I have no problem waking up tomorrow and deciding what to do. I just want to give this time, this 9 time to play out.
Yeah, no, that definitely sounds good. Let me take a look at that stock. Thank you for the generous super chat. And that stock was NBO. I don't even know if it's a stock or not.
Could BNO.
BNO. Yeah, you're right. No one cares about whatever this is.
Yeah, what the hell? Whoa.
Brent oil. Oh, so this is the. Oh, I'm on a 1-minute chart.
Wow.
No, wait.
That was daily.
Yeah, it was BNL. That's right. Let me get out of the 1-minute chart. Let's go to a real chart. All right. This is not very liquid. This is United States Brent Oil Fund. Interesting. So this is kind of bullish. And I mean, it's like playing oil. And I don't know. I would kind of want to stay away from oil right now. For all we know, oil at the end of the month, when it comes to delivery, can go negative again. Oil is just too risky of a trade. Now, the trade that I was going to take on oil was something called a call ratio back spread. It's the same trade that we took on with Norwegian cruise lines and Under Armour. And that trade makes you a lot of money if the asset goes up really, really quickly. And if you are 100% wrong, if you are completely wrong, let's say you enter this trade, it makes you a lot of money if it goes up a lot. What do you think happens if you're completely wrong and it just crashes down, Joe? In that trade, you still make a little bit of money. So the way that trade works is if you are completely wrong, you make a cup of coffee out of it. If you are absolutely right and the stock FOMO'd or the asset just flew up, you make a lot. But the way you lose on that trade is if it goes in your direction, it goes up, but it doesn't go up a lot. So the trade has a maximum loss. So you enter it here. It like once it goes past, let's say $9 or $8, it starts to make you a lot of money. We're talking like 20x leverage. But its maximum loss is around $7, $8. So if it's at $7, $8 after X amount of time, that's when it loses you the maximum amount of money. But if you're completely wrong, you still make a little bit of money on the trade. So that was the trade. So and that's what I wanted to do with oil, because the risk of it going negative is just too great, because it already happened last month and there's nothing stopping it from happening again. So in that Norwegian trade, and we only did it as a sample trade, we didn't put a lot of money on it. In hindsight, I wish I put my entire life savings on that trade, because like that's what happened. Come on, is this thing gonna come up or what?
If you have time, I want you to look at WLL ticker. You're gonna.
Yeah, I'll take a look at that.
You're gonna like what you see.
So for the Norwegian trade, like I don't even know how to calculate the return on this, but like we entered the Norwegian trade right here on Monday, and the way this trade was entered, it depends on the scale, right? So we entered it just as a sample trade, and we got paid $100 to enter that trade. That was the smallest amount I could enter the trade on. This isn't like Bitcoin. Like I can't make a trade for 5 cents and test out the system. So getting paid $100 was the absolute, like that's the minimum amount. Like I couldn't go in less than that. So I could have gotten paid $10,000 to enter this trade, but I took the $100 entry. And today the trade was profiting about $150 on the 100 that we got paid to enter the trade. So think about that. Like, how do you calculate a return on that? It's not actually doable, right? Because I made $250 in this trade, but my entry was I got paid $100 to do it. So the $100 that you get paid, and now you're up an additional $150 on top of that. But the trade has a maximum loss. And the maximum loss is if this trade doesn't move at all, I end up losing. It just moved a lot very quickly. It's just it's like one of the weirdest options trades there is. And when it works, it's the greatest trade ever. So that's the kind of trade I wanted to do on oil, because oil could be wrong. And that's the kind of trade I wanted to do on a cruise liner, because for all I know, Norwegian could have filed for bankruptcy next week. And if it did, I didn't want to lose any money. But if it doesn't file for bankruptcy, I figured it could go up. Maybe they'll get a bailout. And these are the kinds of trades that you do when you're when you have a feeling that something can skyrocket, but at the same time, it could also go to zero. It kind of feels like Bitcoin, doesn't it? All right, Joe, what do you want me to look at?
WLL. And it seems like someone in the audience has already done that. And I think they're liking what they see too.
So earnings is coming. I think they reported today. And I need to go and take a look at that. How did it do? It did okay. So it held to earnings. That's a $1.26 stock. That's cheap.
I know, dude. I know. This one might be one of those stocks that
wow,
can't really walk away from. Look at all that volume, that buy volume in its entire history.
Wow. Oh yeah.
This one's on the list, huh?
It's getting to the list. Let me see. What do we look like? It had a weekly 9. It had a daily 9. It certainly had, you definitely had plenty of opportunities. And yeah, would have been nice to buy this for 0.
Yeah, fuck.
Now that it's $1.26. Interesting. Not much to lose on this one. Who found this? Was that in the chat or that's you?
Well, this is me.
Oh, yeah.
I've been digging around. I'm into the stock market because, of course, right now the two are correlated. It's taught me a little bit more that I need to pay more attention. And I mean, there are a lot of similarities. Boeing down 72%. I mean, a black swan event or whatever has the same impact. It's something that you can't turn a blind eye to as a trader. So this one I'm very curious about, especially after our fight with that intermediate term moving average. A powerful, a decent earnings, a cheap price, relatively low risk, 66% to the downside, which is obviously significant. I'm not going all in here, but this is looking really good to me right now, and this is high up my watch list.
Yeah, talk about bottom picking. I mean, I'm kind of upset that I got out of my Apache trade too early. I mean, I bought this like right at the low, and I got out right here. I mean, I thought I was a genius, I'm like, oh man, I'm getting out. I just got 100% return, and then this happens. So yeah, hope some of you didn't. I hope some of you didn't follow the lead and stayed with the Apache trade. Yeah,
So nice.
this could be another Apache. Kind of disappointing that this was missed, but that is great volume.
I know we're days off, but
Hmm?
we're days off from a 33-cent bottom. But hey, we talk about it's okay to miss the first 10, 20, whatever percent of a trade, until you get confirmation in that volume, which I did break down in that one particular candle with the wick right there, about 5 days out from the right. It's very significant volume, probably the highest in its history if you drop it down to a weekly. So that has me very interested in the general projection, and I think this is an overall buy range. So I have no problem exposing myself bit by bit to this asset.
My minor concern is the average daily volume. Wow, that is not small. That is significant volume. Yeah, this is a good find, Joe. Good find. I will take a look at this a little bit more closely.
You'll buy me a box of cigars when you make a ton of money on this one?
I try to just go small. I just got back into trading, but
Look at that volume, though. Look at that
I
volume.
know. I love it. I love the volume spike.
Told you this one's gold, man.
I'm not even a volume guy.
I know, but it's just so this is as clear as it gets in the stock market when you get something lining up this clearly. It's very rare. Plus a 9 buy days out, and we're about the price.
Optionable. It's got to be optionable. This thing's been around for 10 years. You know what? I feel like that's a good volume. You know what I'm gonna do? I might shoot over a text to and you've met him to John Najarian and ask him if there's been any unusual options activity on this bad boy over the last few weeks.
Well, tell him I say hi, and if you do anything, show me, because I've been watching your options videos, and which I highly suggest. I mean, I'm digesting a lot of it, but I'm very curious to see how you would trade this, because I'm just a humble observer right now, because of course this is a new experience to someone like me who's a new trader just to crypto. So multiply that to stocks. There's a lot of moving parts. So I'm very curious to get your insights, and I'd love to see how you trade this one.
Oh yeah, no. I'm gonna for something this cheap, I may just go straight long. I might not get cute with it. I got too cute with some of the other stocks like Tilray and Apache, and I did not profit like I should have. I should have just went straight in. Yeah, no, this is very interesting. I'll keep an eye on that tomorrow.
Nice.
And I gotta shoot over. I gotta hit up John Najarian and Market Rebellion to see if there's been any unusual options activity.
Yeah, and I'll be bugging you about this one now that I know you like it. Just so you know, there was a tipped question asking about my indicators, and I could show those again. Everything's available on Trader, and if you want, I can somehow connect with you directly on Telegram. There, Moondog. If you want to message me, Joe_Saz at Joe_Saz. or at TRDR. Just join the community and at me there. Whichever you choose, I'll help you out.
Yeah, so Joe is using this platform right here, Trader, TRDR, and it shows you, it's focused on order book volumes, and Joe is becoming an expert in that. So if that's something that interests you, you can go and sign up for free for now and get a free trial. Check it out. If you like it, stay with it. If not, move on to something else.
Exactly.
Joe found his niche. Joe loves the trading based on order books.
Yeah, I went to Tone's workshop back in my early days, and I sent Tone the picture, I think not long ago, of our first our first picture together at the New York seminar. I mean, it wasn't long until you mentioned it's important for a trader to develop their identity, and this happened to be mine. So I definitely am here to help and serve the community of people that want to learn more about it.
All right, so we have another question. Someone is asking me for my price prediction at the end of 2021. And look, guys, I'm bullish, but I'm not crazy bullish. So at the end of 2021, I think we'll be somewhere between 10 and 20K. So at the end of 21, what do I have on this chart? On this chart, I'm a little bit more bearish. You can see how I was more bearish going into the year. And right now we're holding up. So you got to raise this chart up a little bit. So while I initially thought that we would be around current prices at the end of end of 2021, we're here. So you got to raise that up a little bit. My best guess will be, looking to break this high. Will be somewhere between 13 and 16,000 at the end of 2021. That's kind of my view on it for the next year and a half. All right, what else? I got a couple of older questions that I've been meaning to get to, but I keep forgetting. I don't know if I ever pasted them in here. Let me see. I'm just going to go through them real quick. Let me see. Nations like Australia, US government. Let me see. I don't understand that question. What's good for the economy? Inflation versus deflation? Neither is good. Deflation shows fall in demand, but inflation is bad too. So what's worse? They're both bad. When it comes to the economy, when it comes to your currency, you want your currency to be deflationary because that means that you can buy more things. But when it comes to the economy, you don't really want the economy to be deflationary. Currency being deflationary is okay. The economy being deflationary is not okay because that does cause problems. And government policies usually create deflation. For example, I'm already seeing multiple states looking to raise property taxes, looking to raise real estate taxes. That creates deflation in the housing sector. Why do I want to buy a house if you're going to keep raising my taxes on the house? So deflation is not good. But it's how that, in what area is it? Like our electronics are constantly deflating, right? Like a laptop that you buy today is going to be half the price in the near future. The car that you buy today is going to be half the price. So things deflate all the time, but you don't want the car industry to be deflationary. You want the individual car to be deflationary. You want people buying more cars, even though the cars themselves are deflationary. Inflation is also bad, and only when it gets into the extreme. Like the inflation in America is not that bad. Like everyone complains, inflation, inflation, inflation. Look, it's not great, but you can still buy everything you need. Everyone's complaining about inflation, yet everyone's walking around with $1,000 iPhone. So don't complain about, like anyone that complains about inflation and is walking around with a cell phone that's more expensive than my cell phone, you know what? Screw you. Clearly, it's not affecting you. There's really no right answer to that question. Yeah, the deflation due to COVID is going to be very bad. That would be a huge, because people are not going to have jobs and people are not going to want to spend money. So that's a big example of economic deflation, and that's terrible. I mean, economic inflation in assets that isn't an inflation in currency is not necessarily that bad. It's usually because of a shortage of supply. Like there was clearly inflation in masks, no one could get them. So the prices will rise, not because your currency is falling, but because there's demand. Like as long as there's free market supply and demand without government interference, neither inflation nor deflation will probably be bad, nor will they spiral out of control. It's when the government gets involved, there become issues. On a macro view, what you feel about gold? I try to think about gold less and less now that Bitcoin exists. I've talked about gold too many times. I can't get into these discussions. Look, gold is in a weird place right now. Gold is very close to the old all-time high, and right now gold is totally neutral. I think gold can pump one more time, but I don't think gold's going to $5,000 anytime soon. I think all the people that were calling for gold 5,000 over the last 40 years will never see it, like ever. People like Doug Casey, they'll never see it. I mean, they're getting old. They're in their 80s now, and I don't think they'll ever see it. Can the stock market of a country rise for a long period of time? Yeah, of course. If economy is really not performing great, yes. Can they diverge for long? Yes, they can. Because I think I answered this question last time. Look, there's always money you can move. If you see the stock market rising, if you see a shitcoin rising, you don't care that it's fundamentally flawed. You're going to want to make money. So if the stock market starts rising in a shit economy and people feel that bonds are more risky and real estate's more risky because it's being taxed to death, they'll sell it and go into stocks. It doesn't matter. It's a better safe haven. So sure, stocks can go up with a bad economy because the money is coming out of some other things. All right. That's pretty much it on the questions. We still have 1,000 viewers with us, Joe. Maybe one more time, run through Trader. Joe's going to show you guys Trader one more time, and then we're going to call it a night. Go ahead, show it to us. And for those that are interested in a Bitcoin debit card, here's my Embly card. Use it all over the world. It's absolutely awesome. And the new website will have all these cool designs.
I don't know if you're aware, Tone, he also mentioned last week that they're working on increasing the maximums to 36,000, if I remember correctly.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know who needs to prepay their debit cards with $30,000, but you will have that option, apparently.
So we'll be, if you're there tomorrow, then you'll be seeing Alex yourself. So look forward to that.
Oh yeah, we need to have a call with him. We've been like playing phone tag.
Yeah. And yeah, he's such a good guy. But here, I'll jump into Trader to kind of give it one last tour. Tone, is it under the video, or it's only currently on your website as you were showing? I'll just point it out one more time while we're here. I clicked on Tone's tonevays.com. In his affiliates in the top right corner, here's his link to Trader, and this is what you get. Right now it's still in beta, so you get a free pro account. You can test every single indicator that we have that is unique to Trader. That includes exact liquidations. I can go, for example, to BitMEX, and this is actually great data. Let's hit this on the daily and look at liquidations, because I love doing this. So we can know.
You can just watch people get wrecked in real time from here.
Yeah, 100%. Here's the liquidations bar, and so let's pay attention to the doomsday here. Was it March 12th? So looking at March 12th, we had, and let me get the indicator values back. I turned them off because there was too many of them. So let me just switch this up in background. And you can see that on this day, we had 843 million longs liquidated, 12 million shorts. And we had 749 million longs the following day. So about 1.6 billion longs knocked off the map, liquidated. And this is when I was watching the liquidation spot. So you can see lately, past 3 days, excluding today, so the past 2 days, 111 million shorts liquidated, 21 million longs. We still have a lot of longs playing hardball, man. 81 million longs liquidated today, 36 million shorts. So this is getting back to a choppy market. Seeing the mess on both sides of the spectrum there. So this is just another example of some of the indicators you get access to. Here's the liquidations. Here's the order book depth non-cumulative 10 to 25%. So I call it OBDNC 1025. And you can see when it was oversold, when it was overbought. There are some great examples of that here. So this is why I use this as almost like an RSI, as an overbought and oversold indicator. And clearly it's very powerful at times. It caught this local bottom. Unfortunately, you even got the order book info to get in on the daily. You might have had to take a loss, but then you got your signal again, 40% later, 52% later. So you would have been able to close at a little bit of a loss and re-enter. So, here's the data on BitMEX. You get tons of stuff, order book depth, non-cumulative. We were taking a look on Binance at things like the, it's every indicator that we can add here, but, volume by side, trades of any size. We can customize this to look specifically at divergences only. And we can make this say, let's look at this in columns. So that I could see only the red candles that had green volume and only the green candles that had red volume. So these are the examples. And lately we've had a grip of green candles with even overwhelming red volume. And here was that prime example we were discussing earlier, Tone, where there was a ton more sell volume here. But interestingly enough, that was still a reversal candle. So maybe it was a different one we were referring to. But yeah, you have all access to this and a lot more. Everything's here, the indicators, order book. If I just type in order, you can filter it. You can do cumulatively all the way to 10%, all the way to 25%. You can do non-cumulatively certain ranges, and each one has its own benefits. You can look at the spread, the bid-ask spread, so you can see the ratio visibly here that in this 2.5 to 5% range, bids are beating asks. So it's everything is here as far as the order book data is concerned, and you can customize this to your needs. You can make this a line, you can make this a line and get rid of the in between. There should be a delta fill, so we can look at this without having to see that. So you can specifically see how many orders there are, you can see when it crosses over, what happens. So there's tons and tons of information here. I'm trying to make sure that I get rid of as much of the noise as possible, but everything seems to be useful, and that's what's making this, if anything, troublesome to produce the best strategy. Right now, we're focusing on the top levels and the bands, but again, everything comes into play if you're using it correctly, and it's all just valuable data nonetheless. So, those are just some examples of what else Trader has to offer. Of course, I have the order book depth from multiple exchanges. This is filterable. So I can have Binance US, Binance up here. Of course, I'm looking at Binance, so I don't need to pay attention. But I can have any number of exchanges checked, and I can make this box as big as I want. This is the order book changes. So this is almost like your heat map as well as the order book top levels. You can change the order book depth from cumulative to non-cumulative, so you can physically see the support and resistance levels. So this gives you everything. And I'm looking at trades above 100K right now. We can go back to trades of any size and see all the dust rolling across the board. So you have every customization in the book, and we've just been working hard, and we're continuing to do that to make this a better service in terms of order book observations and analysis, particularly making profitable trades. So I'll finish my breath there.
All right, very, very cool. I guess we can go ahead and leave it here. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll try to bring you a show in the morning as usual around the time of market open, and then we take it from there. Joe, thank you for joining. Maybe I'll take a look at Bitcoin one last time. Guys, come on, hit that like button. Let's get these videos moving through the internet, and subscribe as well. One last look. I'm curious where Bitcoin is. Please support with the affiliate page. And the daily chart still on a 9, looking not too bad. The 4-hour chart, that's the one I've been keeping an eye on, and we're hanging in there. But I gotta go with my indicators. I gotta be bearish here. I know the order book is going against me, but I gotta I got to stick to my guns here. I'm going to be bearish. I don't have any trades. I got out of all my GBTC on the short term. I still have my hodl position. And we wait. We go from here. Oops, didn't mean to jump on the daily there. Meant to stay here. There we go. That's it. I wonder how the shitcoins are doing. This is Bitcoin dominance, I think, if it shows up. Is it going to show up?
I looked earlier. If I remember correctly, it's hovering around 65.
Yeah, it's got to get up there. It's got to get up there. I tweeted out Tyler Jenks's old article, the case for $10 million Bitcoin. It was
the long
great.
and winding road.
Yeah, very good article. What is this?
Well, it appears if you make a payment, you'll get some free months, Toad.
I mean, I'm paying you already the premium version, which is like $60 a month.
I just buy on Black Friday, man. Every Black Friday they give you 50% off.
Yeah, I know, but like I couldn't wait. Like I remember I had like my subscription expired and
Yeah,
I wasn't on a Black Friday deal, and I'm like, shit, do I want to wait 6 months? So I didn't. So I've been like, I started paying just month by month, waiting for the Black Friday. So I don't know what I might just keep it. I'm paying them 60 a month. I'll just pay it for a few more months, and then I'll take the Black Friday deal for like a year out or something or whatever. I'll skip that offer. Yeah, this needs to, like I said, I expected 80% by year end. We'll see what happens. I still think we're going to get it. All right, guys, that's it. You can join Joe and I in Bali, Indonesia on November 1 to 7. Incredible resort, incredible time with great people. And that's it. We're going to cut this. And Joe, enjoy the rest of your night in your smoke room. And I may see you tomorrow for cards. I don't know, maybe. I got to see. I still have a shit ton of work to get done.
Well, I hope we can do it. And thanks again so much for having me, Tone.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hopefully I'll see you soon when this whole quarantine ends.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. See you all tomorrow.